You're watching Local 5 News at 10 in HD. We are Iowa's most accurate weather team, and we start with your forecast first.
Well, good evening, everyone. It's pretty quiet out there now, but we had some thunderstorms go through the north side of the metro. They are moving eastward, but a few more showers will be skirting through the area tonight. Look for showers out there tonight, maybe a little bit of thunder. Even tomorrow, a few scattered showers early in the day, late in the day. It's going to be cooler and windier. We'll take a look back at the storms and a look ahead at your forecast coming up.
Also coming up on Local 5 News at 10. Thousands gather to pay their final respects for a mother, wife, and police officer.
Officer Farrell, your brothers and sisters in blue will forever watch over your family. May you rest in eternal peace.
Killed in the line of duty. Tonight we remember the fallen officer, Susan Farrell.
Local 5 News at 10 in HD starts now. We are Iowa.
A somber day in the metro as thousands mourn the death of a police officer killed in the line of duty. Good evening, I'm Stephanie Engelson.
And I'm Jack Miller. Behind us you see that universal symbol to honor a fallen officer, the thin blue line. During today's funeral, it was said that no words could take the pain away, but those who worked closely with Susan Farrell were determined to pay tribute to the woman who had so much left to give.
Well, tonight Local 5 remembers the fallen.
They didn't make it. Those are the words we heard. Words we will never forget, nor should we.
Des Moines Police Chief Dana Wingert telling mourners Saturday is a day he will remember forever, a day he lost two dedicated officers. In Susan Farrell, he says from day one, he saw what it took to be the perfect officer.
When things got tough, she only worked harder. If someone was struggling, she helped them pull through. Susan was always looking for ways to improve.
Susan fulfilled a lifelong dream when she became part of the Des Moines Police Department. Before that, she worked in the Polk County Sheriff's Office and the Pleasant Hill PD. It was there a fellow officer got to know her lighter side.
Before I even knew her, she kicked the back of my feet trying to make me fall. Maybe for some that didn't know her, that was Susan.
A prankster known for her sense of humor and genuine smile. It was a trait that made Susan Farrell the type of officer that could be calming in the most volatile situations. That was her gift to the world.
To be somebody who emanates light, who emanates life, who has a way of bringing a presence where the whole room will stand still. But you can't foster that. You either have it or you don't. And Susan had it.
In the end, a final call.
Dispatch to 5184. Dispatch to 5184. Dispatch to 5184, Officer Farrell. There is no answer from 5184. Officer Susan Farrell went 1042 for the last time on March 26, 2016. Officer Farrell, your brothers and sisters in blue will forever watch over your family. May you rest in eternal peace.
Officer Farrell leaves behind a husband and a young daughter.
Meanwhile, investigators, of course, are still looking for answers as to what exactly happened the night she and her partner, Carlos Puente Morales, both died. Their patrol car was hit head-on by another vehicle traveling the wrong direction on I-80, causing this fiery crash. Everyone involved in the crash was killed. That includes the inmate they were transporting, Tasha Hyatt, and the man driving the other car, Benjamin Berry.
Local 5 will continue to remember the fallen all week long as they are laid to rest as well. Officer Carlos Puente Morales' funeral is Friday morning at 8:30. It will be held at St. Francis of Assisi Church in West Des Moines, followed by a burial at the Veteran Cemetery in Van Meter. Officer Puente Morales was a member of the Iowa National Guard before joining the police force. Visitation and funeral arrangements have been made for the prisoner. Officers Farrell and Puente Morales were driving from Council Bluffs to Polk County that morning. Visitations for Tasha Hyatt will be April 1st and 2nd in Council Bluffs. She leaves behind a husband and 4 children.
No funeral announcements have been made for Benjamin Berry so far. State police are still trying to retrace his steps leading up to the crash, and they have yet to conduct a toxicology report.
Well, there are more questions than answers in the case right now, including if any substances were a factor in the crash. We'll keep you updated on any new information that comes out.
Yeah, Stephanie, another big story we're following tonight. Severe thunderstorms moving through central Iowa. There was actually some hail in some places around the metro. Here in West Des Moines, you could see the clouds roll in, but there wasn't much rain. Local 5 Chief Meteorologist Brad Edwards joins us now with a look at who did get that severe weather. Brad?
Yeah, guys, we kind of missed it here. We had a few sprinkles in western Iowa, or western part of the viewing area here, but we're looking at severe weather north of town, up around Ankeny. You can see it started out here to the west, and this is out in Guthrie County. 1-inch hail in Yale at 7:03, and then it moved on into the Ankeny area, and that was really the hardest hit area. We had some 1-inch hail in Ankeny, a lot of pea to marble size hail, and there was also a report of a 60-mile-per-hour wind there right around the Saylorville Township. So definitely some severe weather on the north side of town. Again, just a few sprinkles coming through here. Here's what's left of those thunderstorms as they move through. Still some strong storms going through Grinnell right now, and you can see Cedar Rapids getting hit, but nothing severe right now. We're looking at showers and thunderstorms down to our south here. So they're all around us right now. Nothing's heading for the Des Moines area right now, but later tonight we could see a few more showers coming in. You can see there's activity going into Fort Dodge right now. No severe weather, but the cell in Fort Dodge did have some 3/4-inch hail with it. So again, marble-sized hail with that thunderstorm. And we are going to get cooler in the days to come. It looks like we will cool down tomorrow with a few more showers. But all in all, it wasn't too bad for our severe weather tonight, guys. We'll talk about more thunderstorm chances in our 10-day forecast coming up.
Brad, thanks. And to keep up with the weather right outside your front door, use the Local 5 interactive radar. You can find it on our app or our website, weareiowa.com.
And the countdown to coverage is almost over. Starting Friday, anyone with Medicaid health care coverage in Iowa will be covered by a private company and not the state. Local 5's Jacob Peklo was at the State House today as lawmakers continue to debate over who needs to keep an eye on this new plan. He joins us in the studio now with more. Jacob.
Well, Jack, Stephanie, it was clearly one of the most tenuous hearings you'll ever see at the Iowa State House. The team that's in charge of this transition says they could have had things ready to go at the beginning of the year. But now state lawmakers say there are going to be some issues, well, at least at first.
I think there's going to be a lot of confusion. I think people will still be asking some of the same questions that they've been asking the last 3 or 4 months.
On Wednesday, the Senate Resources Committee tried to gain some clarity about Friday's transition from state-run to privatized Medicaid care.
I don't like the idea of this being launched right when we're about to adjourn and we don't have any oversight. And I would hope that we could all see the need for that.
State lawmakers know there will be turbulence as the new plan takes off. The state leadership team overseeing the launch says they'll keep tabs on the 4 new providers, making sure they're following the rules.
That might require a corrective action plan, but whatever does happen, the Managed Care Bureau will be following up to make sure that there is something in place to correct that issue.
Patients will have the freedom to choose their own plan. The committee will monitor for any spikes in enrollment. State officials in charge of the new program say they've also picked out some smaller rural providers to, quote, handhold during the initial days to make sure the reporting is accurate.
If they have a problem with the MCOs, they'll come to us and look at the enforcement provisions, and we'll do what we need to do. In an informal method, administrative method, if we need to go to court, we'll do that.
Still, questions linger about networks, doctors, and coverage of certain drugs. But that doesn't mean it'll all be worked out immediately.
I get a feeling that the MCOs just want this to happen and they can iron it out as it goes along.
The populations that are the most desperate, the populations that are most volatile, aren't used to it. And now they've got to learn that process. And I think in that learning curve, you're going to have some people who are going to find some difficulties.
Now, of course, there's one last thing to keep an eye on. The last request that came at the hearing today was to have several progress reports on how this new system is doing. State lawmakers say they don't want to wait until January 1st to get that initial update. Live in the studio, Jacob Peklo, Local 5 News. We are Iowa.
Jacob, thanks. We want to know how you at home feel about the switchover. Are you confused about what happens on April 1st? Are you happy or unhappy that your care is switching over? Let us know for a chance to see your comments on air. You can post your thoughts on Twitter and Facebook, or send us an email, or give us a call. We'd love to hear what you think. The contact information is on your screen.
Coming up on Local 5 News at 10, Donald Trump's top aide gets in some trouble, but the Republican frontrunner is standing by him. Details from the campaign trail in your local election headquarters.
Then Senator Joni Ernst stops by the studio to talk about the 2016 race for the White House.
And later at sports, a major golf tournament is coming to the Metro. See why one of the most successful golfers in history will play a big part.
And no more severe weather to worry about, but more rain and maybe snow is in the forecast. We'll take a look at that coming up.
Tomorrow on Good Morning Iowa.
All right, so here it is, the last day before Iowa's Medicaid program switches over to private management.
That's right, we're going to hear from DHS spokeswoman on what exactly needs to be done before the deadline.
And in your forecast, we'll be done with the strongest weather, but unfortunately, we get some cooler air to come back to Iowa.
Be prepared tomorrow, all new on Good Morning Iowa.